Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Belinda and I go by the name of Belinda Chosen. Welcome back to my channel, guys. So today I have a video for you guys. First of all, let me introduce my friend here. This is Martel. Martel, do you want me to say your last name, your government name? Martel Dorzin. So Martel is married to my sis, Jessica, my sister in Christ, my friend, my sister. So today I was thinking we have the desire as women to get married, right? But a lot of the times, we as women are not prepared to be that wife. I want to ask Martel, how did he know Jessica was the one? So that's the video for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Without further ado, let's get right into this video. So Martel, let me just get right into it, okay? A lot of women want to know because they want to be that one for that, husband one day, right?
Okay.
How do you men know that she's the one?
It's actually just very personal type of thing.
Okay.
I can only speak for my experience myself.
Yeah.
So I would say for her, let's see, how do I explain that? Okay. For me specifically, for me personally, it's not to say that my family never supported me. It's just that I'm the oldest. So when I grew up, it was always, when my brother came, it was always, you watch out for your brother.
Yeah.
Then my sister came, you watch out for your sister.
Then
not to say nobody watch out for me, but I'm the oldest, so nobody really got my back the way I got it for my sister and for my brother and my sister.
Yeah.
Now, when I met her, not only that I felt that she specifically stands behind me and helped me move forward, I also didn't need to look back to feel some type of way, because when you're doing stuff on your own, you have to look right or left to actually pick up the slacks and just make sure patch on the holes to make sure that whatever you accomplish, you get it done.
Yeah.
But her, I didn't have to look back.
So you've did it before, right?
Yes, I have.
And obviously they're not it because they're not here.
Correct.
How did Jessica stand out from the other ladies that you've dated?
Our goals aligned together. I could support her goal and she could support mine. Because that's a different thing. Yes, somebody might want to be amazing in their life, like who they want to be, a lawyer, doctor, whichever, whatever it is. If they want to be they want to be a Mongol in the field, and that's good. But the good thing about it is the fact that you also have to be able to support each other's goals.
Yeah.
If what you want to do is gonna take so much out of me to support you, then it doesn't make sense.
So I remember you guys telling me, when you guys first start talking, right? She didn't even see you in that way. No. She thought you were just a friend. She friend-zoned you.
We both didn't see each other at that. And yes.
But you slid into her DMs on Facebook, though. But you didn't see her in that way, though? How is that?
This is the thing. We all see it at, I slid in her DM.
But you weren't interested.
That was not the case.
Okay.
Because I wanted to actually... Because that time I messaged her, it's because we wanted to... We had a concert that my group was doing. So I wanted to invite her.
A concert.
I know what they say about musicians, but that anyway. So I wanted to invite her. Yeah. So I just messaged her. And then from there, I'm like, okay, if I'm messaging her to come to a concert, let's hope that I can continue talking to her and not just make it feel like whenever something is happening in my life, that's when I just drag her around.
So were you curious about her when you messaged her to invite her to the concert?
Not really, honestly.
Really?
It was just us being friends. Honestly speaking, that's all it was for me because I had so much going on in my life at that time.
So you slid into her DMs in the intention of being friends, okay? My sister didn't see you in that way at all. You know what I'm saying? She didn't see you in that way
which made it easier for us to become friends.
But then, at what point in your friendship did you think, nah, this girl's different?
When we got closer to each other. When we started speaking as not just friends, but also sharing intimate stuff. And I know the second people hear intimate, the first thing they think about is sexual things, but it's not the same because intimacy could be just you finding peace somewhere that you can actually be aware and be in a moment where you could be vulnerable because God himself says it's good to be intimate with God. So to be in and out. So when we started actually talking to each other and I noticed that there's a lot that she's going through and I'm going through that's similar. So we're I can actually grow with this.
Okay, so we women want to know, right? What qualities do us godly women need to have to attract a godly man?
That's a tough question, actually. The reason being, I mentioned that is, like I said, it's very personal based on everything. But godly women, godly people in general, is just put God first. I can say, honestly, it sounds easier than it is, and it sounds simpler than what I'm like. Just me speaking it out, it's just making it sound very simple. Just as in saying, put God first. But in order to do that, it's really and truly have a walk with God, because that's one thing that's going to be very attractive. Because when I heard her pray, honestly, that was different for me.
Okay.
So I see she prayed with intention. It wasn't just like, thank you God for,
or trying to impress you in any
exactly,
way,
Exactly. So she put that, and then that's crazy enough because that's how we got our own place. Because I got to a point where I'm like, okay, nobody's calling us for us to buy a condo or a house or anything like that. So I'm like, okay, I think we're gonna go end up.
But she was like, no way. She wanted her G. She had a list. She's like, I want to see God come through, and God literally came through.
That's the part. She had a list down, and she says, these are the things I've been praying for.
So, woman of prayer.
Home. Yes. When you stay at God's feet, and people usually take, whenever you say prayer, they perceive it as just like somebody that's always like, but prayer is a line of communication with God. So that just means that you just in constant communication with God. Prayer doesn't necessarily mean that you're asking God for this or this. You could be thanking Him. You could be just asking for guidance. That's prayer. That's what we call prayer. Like communicating with God, reading the Word and stuff like that. Like really and truly living for God. That's one thing that was different. And
by her fruits,
exactly.
That she produced.
And it's funny enough that you mentioned this, because we were both talking about this morning. My wife and I. It was regarding that. It's different when she doesn't need you.
Ooh.
She doesn't depend on you. So all you need to bring it to the table, as they keep saying, is just you being a loving, compassionate, being somebody like a husband that God could say that I fashioned that man for this situation.
You said something very key. That's why I believe that our time of singleness is very important. To know God, to know yourself, to know your values, to know your worth, to know how to heal.
Yes.
So that when you get to that relationship, you don't put up your you don't get lost in that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Because everybody comes with baggages.
Yeah.
You don't want that one of your baggages is a burden to the next person. Or something that the person and yourself can accept, can compromise about. Nobody's fully as we want to say, fully perfect or heal from it. But you need to reach a level where having somebody else stepping on your toes is not something that you feel like that, it's ending your life. So where it get out of proportion. Until this day, I always think that lady from my church. That literally one time when everybody's like, well, everybody's married at the church. How come you're not getting married yet? And then she said, don't worry about them. Don't let them talk. That's no problem. Because God didn't create a helper for Adam until He gave Adam
an assignment.
And Adam's job was to watch over the garden. And it's like, you know what? And I'm going to create a helper for you. So in that case, stay at God's feet until He gives you your purpose. And trust and believe that He will send you somebody to help you for that. For the women out there yourself, just work on yourself. Make it so hard for anybody else to come around you. And one thing I say to that is that be at such a height closer to God and also with yourself. You make anybody else that comes around that can't handle this have fear of heights.
Wow.
So they can't handle this height. They're like, you know what? I'm not even going to come
don't
close.
Lower your standards.
No,
just to settle.
Listen. It's already hard as it is to live with your siblings because you guys bicker all the time. So if you lower your standard to a point, you just let anybody in the house. Nobody's going to respect you when they get in. Because there's no rule. They do whatever they want to do.
For sure.
You don't want that.
Wow. So that's very, very true. So, how's your life been better getting married? Because I believe that there's certain blessings outside of a marriage that you don't get as a single person that you receive in the marriage, because two is better than one.
That's very true.
How's it different from single to marriage? And how long did you guys date for?
We dated for 3 years.
For 3 years? You got married?
Well, almost 3 years.
How long have you been married now?
We've been married for a year.
Wow! Oh, wow! So, how's that transition been? Being single to relationship to married.
Okay, for this one, I would say for the marriage part is one thing I've been looking forward to. Because again, not to brag or anything, but I've been in different relationships. So
okay, player.
So the good part about it is that I knew how to be a good boyfriend. Now it's different because husband is for life. That title sticks with you until the rest of your life. And I've always prayed for God to make me a husband that my wife deserves.
Hey,
so not just a good
Jessica, you hear that? She's here somewhere.
Jeez. But it's something that I've been very looking forward to be as well. Not just, because people have dreams but never act on it.
I'm going to ask her if you're a good boyfriend, because you might be lying right now.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. You're just going to give me more brownie points. I'm okay with that. Let's go.
He's a good guy.
But the difference actually was just in prayer. So I'm not praying alone, because in the word it says when 2 or 3 are gathered. He's here. Exactly. He's here in our presence. And if we're 2 already, so it's a difference.
Yeah. So what word of wisdom would you give to those single women out there, including myself, who are really, really, really praying for a husband? But there's a difference with praying for a husband and also doing the assignment that God has called you to do in this time. There's some people that has messaged me like, I want to get married. I want to get married. I want to get married. What would you say to those people who just desperately want to get married? Like, in their time of singleness, how would you encourage them to keep waiting for God?
You can't make that your focus. Because if you do, everything around gonna feel like it's calling you to be that.
Yeah.
Because if in your mind everywhere you walk in, it's like I'm looking for it, I'm looking for it, I'm looking for it. You're gonna start seeing it in everything else that's not really there.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say don't make that your focus.
Yeah.
Make God your focus.
Amen.
It's difficult 100%. Some people might out there saying like, well, you're already married, so it's easy for you to say. No, it's not really, because in the meantime, for my journey, it wasn't as pretty, because I was butting my head. I was at times where I got really low, and I mean like just not just mentally, but like physically. I wasn't looking my best. I wasn't at the best mentally as well, for school, for anywhere. Yeah. But when I started working more, and like I said, with that lady mentioning that God will give you your assignment first, and then will give you your helper. So I shifted my focus on making it for God. I'm a musician, so I made it my purpose that I become a worshiper. Worshiper first, leading into His word, praying.
That's the assignment that you have before.
That's what I focus on it. And then the rest, God just pour out somebody in front of me. And great that you said assignment. Then in that case, if God, that's one thing. I'm going to put it at just an anecdote like this. If God Himself don't freely give us, as in don't choose, I meant to say, that's the word. If God don't choose salvation for us, best believe He's also not going to choose your mate for you. He will present people that matches who you want to be and what you go in your journey and your path. It's up to you also to recognize it and to grab with both hands. Yeah. The same way that God always, every day we wake up, the day is made. And because God said every day He made, He's glad. We will be glad and rejoice in it. That means that He already provides. Yeah. And all we have to do is grab that provision. Yeah. So He's not going to say, hey, Belinda, that guy that's coming in with the red shirt with the blue socks, that's your husband. No.
He's gonna present it to you.
Exactly.
It's up to you.
Yep. Yeah. He's gonna make it in a
just
way.
Like God presented Eve to Adam.
God never said, Adam, marry this.
He presented.
He present Eve. So that's the same thing. That's the part. So because God is gonna go choose that person for you, that's why when you stay at His feet, that person, your value in Christ in you is going to be the first thing that sucked that person in even more.
Yeah. So like my perspective has changed over time from like my prayer about my husband. Yeah. I remember at one point, my Lord, bring me a man, but it's changed. I'm like, Lord, use me as you want to use me according to your will for my life right now. And that when that time comes, you'll lead that person to my life, and that He will recognize me. I don't have to try to make myself sing or anything like that. Now I'm praying for whoever he is, that God will bless him, God will heal him as God has healed me, right? So when you mature in the faith, your perspective change and the way you see things change and your prayer shifts, right? Yes. So I've been single for over 5 years, and most of that 5 years is by choice. If I had to be in a relationship right now, I could, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, I know what's best for me. And then because I've been single for over 5 years, I have people asking me like, oh, how do you do it? Oh my gosh, why are you still single? But I realized what God has done in my life in that time. the healing,
Mm-hmm.
the uprooting of things that was planted that wasn't godly.
There's growth.
You know what I mean? Like now I feel like I'm the best version of myself, where that if that man walks in my life, I can appreciate him.
Yeah.
Because if he had walked in my life in those times where I was healing, when God was doing a work in me, I would have ruined it.
Yeah, because you're just gonna open.
I wasn't spiritually mature yet. I didn't know how to be vulnerable. I wasn't trying to fall in love, like, because I was so guarded because I've been hurt before.
Exactly.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, in your time of singleness, where you're at right now, let God do a work in you. I can't stress this enough. Like,
no, that's the part. It sounds so easy.
Yeah.
Because it is. The solutions that we need, it's literally said in the word. God says, whatever you need is within me.
Yeah.
All we got to do is seek Him first. And it's so easy, and that's why God keeps saying, "Let the children come to me," because we have to be as children.
Exactly.
And if you heard, because my little nephews, Tommy and Timmy, if you heard Timothy, first thing he's gonna do is go to his parents and go tell on you, because that's who he knows. That's his protector, and that's what God is telling us to do. At the slightest things, go to Him first, and staying with Him,
learn, grow.
Exactly.
And I can embrace your season of singleness and allow God to do that work in you. I can't stress that enough how important it is, because if God was to lead me to that person right now, I know that mentally I'm prepared to love him, to embrace him. Like, I feel like I have so much love to give in this time and not be afraid. Like, I want to give myself to love without fear. You know, not be afraid of, like, okay, he's gonna hurt me like the other guys hurt me. But I'm so whole and healed in the place where God has placed me. That's because I allow God to do a work in me in my time of singleness. And some people don't want to be by themselves.
That's the other part. And the great thing about it, as you mentioned, is that whenever you know that if this person is doing such a things, and it's not like, oh, he's just like any other guy, now you're gonna open the door of communication. Now you can actually talk and be like, okay, you know what you did, I did not appreciate. And I love that about my wife, to be honest, because even when I crack a joke about something, and it's just like, by the way, I just want to be sure that this is this and this is that. I'm like, yes, you are correct. And because that opens doors to other stuff that you can be grown about. Yeah.
And guess what? Like, you know how I was telling to you, I'm like, how do you tell a guy you're interested in them, right? I'm going to expose myself real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a space to be vulnerable, to learn. And this is why I feel like God has led me to do this channel, to have this channel, just to be real. I recently expressed my interest in someone. This is something I would usually never do. Okay? Like
you mean like actually...
I'm interested in you. But that's something I'll never do.
No, so I should know that.
Exactly, but my thing is that regardless of me expressing that interest, if I get rejected or not, it's not going to affect who I am.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not on me, because I feel like when people get rejected, it's just like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
You know?
It feels like a lot of time when we get rejected, we shine a light brighter on our insecurities. Yeah. And then we project that as in that's who we are. No, it could be that it's a blessing in disguise, because now you don't have to waste your time thinking that this person's still or don't.
So I expressed my interest in this person. Like, I would never, ever do that. That's not me. My thing was like, no, they should come to me. Like, do you know who I am? You come to me. You like me, I present myself, you come to me. But I just thought, like, it doesn't hurt to say, I'm curious about you, I'm interested in you. Not that you guys should go talk to every guy that you're interested in them. Like, be led. But
we're not saying that.
I did that, right? And no matter what the response was, I felt good. Yeah. I'm like, oh, look at me be all mature and that woman.
Exactly. It becomes a new chapter, and that was different. So,
but I think a lot of the thing like women are scared of is that if they present themselves to that man, and let's say in the case where they get rejected, they become insecure.
Yeah, it's not just that they become insecure. Yeah. Unfortunately, what happened is just they shine a brighter light in our insecurity. Yeah. That's what it happens. Many times, if we worried, let's say, for example, I can talk from just myself. If I'm going to talk to somebody, right? Already in my head, if I'm not confident, what you think it's going to be? It's like, man, am I smooth enough? Do I look good enough? Yeah. Am I tall enough? Am I look
dark enough?
exactly?
Am I light enough?
Do I look big enough? Yeah. Am I attractive in her eyes? In all of this, then I forgot to highlight who I am. Yeah. That I'm a funny guy. I'm a nice guy. I can be nice. Yeah. That's the other part. I don't want people to think like I'm always nice.
Yeah.
I can be nice. What's it called? I'm a man of God.
Yeah.
I'm a musician. I'm passionate. I'm loving. I'm caring. So all these things are things about me.
Yeah.
And all I'm doing whenever I come in unconsciously is project things that I wish somebody see more of me.
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
Are you? Is this it to say that it's okay for a woman to present herself?
100%.
Because a lot of us women think that's us being desperate to present herself in the right context, in the right manner, right?
In a right manner, just understand this. In a right manner.
Yeah.
90% of women that goes and talk to a man will get response in the right manner.
Mm-hmm.
If you flip that over, it's not the same amount when a guy presents himself to a woman.
Yeah.
We get shut down, probably like she's not in the right head of space. Mm-hmm. That could happen. But there's more success towards when a woman actually goes and asks.
That's crazy. When you told me that, I'm like, I would never do that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so old fashioned. I feel like the man should do the pursuit, which is the man should do the pursuit. That's
the part. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because you telling somebody I'm interested in you, it's not them doing the pursuing. It's not you doing the pursuing. Okay. I meant to say.
Yeah.
Because all you mentioned is like, hey,
I'm curious about
you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
exactly. I want to get to know you.
Yeah.
But if you don't feel like the person's gonna come to pursue you about this, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
Like that's it. But it would be nice for a guy to know that as he walked by, this girl's like, you're interesting. I want to get to know you. Yes, there's the ego thing. Like, I know everybody's like, well, of course, everybody wants to hear that, I look good. I did this. But that's not that case that we're talking about. We're talking at the point where, hey, I want to get to know you. I want to actually spend time with you and see where that goes.
Yeah.
Like, we want to let's court each other and see how it goes. Yeah. But that doesn't mean, because you're still a woman, he's still a man. Yeah. His job as a man will still remain. Your role as a woman will still remain.
In a case where I did what I did, that's good enough. Yes. It'll be up 100%. To him if you want to pursue.
Yeah, if he wants to, to even engage in that conversation, it's up to him.
Yeah.
Necessarily doesn't mean that the second that you mention it, he's obligated to answer.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, you already told him. Literally, you come in, it's like, by the way, the ball's in your court.
Yeah.
It's up to you now.
Yeah.
I made my move.
Yeah.
What's next? What do you get?
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's the crazy thing I did, guys.
I applaud you for that.
Wow. I feel like I've grown. I've come out of my little shell.
I see it, though. It's not that you just.
And I feel like, do you think I'm ready to get married?
That's an answer that you should be able to answer. Because
I think I'm ready. If you ask me, I'm ready.
Because that's the other part. It has to be up to you.
No, I think I've been preparing for a few years now.
Then there's your answer.
But I'm not focused on it.
Yeah. No. But this is the thing. I'm not saying when you say don't focus on it, that doesn't mean don't work towards it.
That's true.
You know what you're working.
Yeah.
Easy thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's break it down, make it simple.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a summer body.
Yeah. Ooh.
So when you want to start working out, when you want to start working out towards your summer body, you just know the end goal.
Yeah.
It's a summer body.
Yeah.
You don't make it your day, as in like, I'm not telling people every time, like, you have to measure everything. You can't go out. You eat normally. You just eat moderately.
Yes.
You have a number of times you go to work out.
Yeah.
You make sure that you sleep properly. All of these things is all in one place.
Yes.
You don't make it your focus of your day-to-day because you still live your day, go eat, out with family, work, do all your normal stuff.
Yeah.
It's just that little piece by little piece you're doing it, you're building that towards it. So it's the same thing. If you want to be a woman that once you get you're gonna build a family with someone, and you want, this is your goals, these are things that you want to do, you live your life towards that person.
Yeah.
So that's all it is. But it's not that you're making your focus if you're working towards that goal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's how it is.
So here, ladies, work on yourself. If you do have an interest in someone, don't be afraid to present yourself
100%
in a manner. And if you don't get that reciprocated, there's nothing wrong with you. It's not about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but before you go do all that, make sure you're ready. You're being called into marriage or into a relationship that season. Make sure you're healing, because like I was saying, it's not fair for me to come into a relationship all sick. it's not fair to you, you know, and nobody's perfect.
No,
Nobody's going to go into a
100%,
relationship perfect.
100%.
Everyone's going to have things that they're going to work on.
Which is
and
why
marriage
the courting,
is a mirror.
yeah,
right?
That's why the courting session is good, and that's why my pastor usually say, love is blind, but marriage open your eyes.
Exactly.
So it's a moment where, like you mentioned, the courting season should be the time where you can figure out, is this for me or not?
Yeah.
Because you get to know that person. You're like, these are my baggages.
Yeah.
Can you handle this? Can you not?
Exactly. So you've heard his experience from single to dating to courting to marriage.
Yeah.
So you've been married for about a little bit over a year now.
Over a year. Yes.
So if you have to use one word to describe your marriage, because it's still fresh, what is one word you use to describe your marriage?
My marriage.
Yeah. That's a tough question.
Yeah, because honestly, to be honest, the reason why I can't find one word actually is because everything that comes to mind is a whole sentence. But let's see. One word. I would say godly.
Oh wow.
It's not to be cliche. The reason why I said that is because my wife set the precedence that this household as well will be a house where we pray.
Oh my gosh, that's good. Do you hear that?
And not only that we pray, but that God is at the foundation as well. Yeah. So he's on the top, and he's also the foundation for where we stand. So that's why I would say godly for me specifically. And because of this, all the fruit of the Spirit shows. Because self-control, we don't want to stab each other. Because listen, I'm hurt, so I want to show you that I'm hurt, so I'm going to hurt you the same way. So it's not the same way.
That's true.
We listen to each other. We love one another. We understand. Yes, we bicker, but
still love each other.
Exactly.
So one more thing I'm going to ask before we go, right? A lot of people want to get married, but they don't know how to keep that marriage. What are some practical things we can learn to just love who God has presented to us, our spouse, in a marriage? Just some practical things, because I feel like this day and age, people are so quick to get divorced. And they don't want to work it out anymore because divorce has become so easy and accessible.
It's easier to just
How do you stay in love with your wife?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
First, I would say for things that I've learned personally is to learn to listen. And what I mean by listen is that if something happens, it's better that you listen than to prove that you're right about something. Yeah. Because when you listen to that person, you could tell them, okay, I hear you. And it doesn't become a battle of comparison. I'm not comparing that, oh yeah, you did this, or you saying that I did this, but guess what? You did this too. But it's not that case. It's okay. I hear what you're saying. I understand it. Okay, we're gonna work on it. Now, on to the next subject. This is what happened. This is what we need to work. And that when you listen, it becomes, it's not me against you, it's us against the problem. Yeah. And to stay in love, just to quickly answer that, I remember my dad, before I get married, he told me, you have to learn to love every single day. Wow. Because you don't stay in love just like the movie shows you. You have to work on it. Because there are times I could become unlovable for the day. I'm not easy. I learned through my marriage that I'm not easy to live with. Wow. So she has to work on loving me every single time.
Just to blink twice if you need help.
What about me? I might need help too. But that's the thing. You have to be able to actually love the person every single day. It's not 50-50.
It's 100.
Yeah, 100 all the time. Because that's how God called us to love.
It's not the fairy tale where they get married and are all happy, the end. No, that's just the beginning.
Yeah, it's the end for social media. Yeah. We stop recording and nobody see what happened behind closed doors.
Exactly. So yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're saying all this to say this, that I know the need for a lot of women who wants to get married. There's a lot. You know, one of our prayer requests for most women, majority of us women, is, Lord, bring me my spouse. Lord, bring me my husband. But I just want to remind you, don't focus on being that wife. Focus on becoming. Yeah. You know, I always use Ruth as an example. Like, Ruth wasn't looking. She was in the field gleaning, making sure her house was fed, making sure she was taking care of her mother-in-law. You know, while she was doing what she was doing in the field and, you know, doing what she was supposed to do. Exactly. Boaz noticed it, like, yo, who is that? Like, you know?
You're going to shine different when you move different as well.
Exactly.
because everybody could be heading the same way.
Yeah.
But the way you walk, the way you carry yourself, your demeanor,
Exactly.
things that happens around you speaks volume of who you are.
Yeah.
Because people could say words. You could say pretty words, crazy words, but the way you act behind those words, that's the difference.
Yes. That's true. And I just want to encourage everyone who's out there who's single and praying and waiting.
Yeah.
And fasting for that godly spouse. I just want to always say, like I usually say, take heart, don't lose hope.
No.
And time will come. I always use this analogy as well. Like if you're at work, you have an 8-hour shift at work, and you're looking at the clock every second. It's gonna feel like 50 hours.
It's gonna feel like.
But when you are focused on the task and what you are doing and what you're assigned to do, before you're like, oh shoot, I forgot to almost take my lunch. Oh shoot, it's time for me to be done.
Yeah.
So when you're focused on it, you're looking at the clock. Where's that man gonna come? Like every brother that comes, Lord, is that my husband?
Yeah. It
Lord,
just go back. Exactly. Go back to what we were saying.
Yeah.
Like if that's all your focus, everything's gonna look good to you.
Exactly.
And there's a danger in that.
Yeah.
Not everything that shines is diamond.
Exactly. So work on yourself, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Okay, because I know there's a lot of men out there who wants a godly wife who think there's no more roots out here. Hello, I'm right here. I'm joking. But anyways. But honestly, focus on yourself, work on yourself, learn a new skill.
Definitely.
Pick up a cooking class. I don't know.
Honestly, that's the other part. A lot of people is like, okay, pick up a cooking class and all these other stuff, and we love to just put everybody in the box. Listen, I tell you this before we go. I tell you this: if there's something that needs to be fixed in the house, my wife already has her hat on, and she's like, "What you gotta say for
handy. Me?" Like it's crazy.
This is the thing. Pick up stuff for your own self.
Yeah.
Because everybody comes with their own skills, and what's it called? Where's the rule book that says you should only know how to cook?
Yeah.
When my wife comes and she's tired, guess what? I'm already in the kitchen cooking.
Yeah, this guy can cook.
That's the part. Like I wasn't raised to be like, okay, this is what. Yeah. This is what. This is this. This is like, pick up all the skills that you can get because for entirety of your household, you need that. If I'm not there, something is broken in the house, and then our future kids need it. And things need to be done. Guess what? Yeah. My wife's just like, hey, I'm fixing this and fixing that. Go for it, baby. No problem. So, same thing. So, for sure. Pick up whatever skills that you can. Work on yourself in that season. That season should be the time like you work on you to be so good that it's going to be undeniable and impossible for somebody not to recognize.
And that's attractive for the other person. 100%. You know what I mean? It's attractive.
100%. It really is. Because my wife called me her little nerd because I'm out here like learning every single thing I could to just spit it out afterwards. So that's the other part. So do that.
Yeah, so I make this video just to encourage you guys that, he was single at a point.
Yes.
People were telling him, when are you going to get married? And look at him now.
I had all of it. Now the question is not when you get married. When are
you
going
to have kids?
I'm like, y'all gonna wait too, bro.
Can they catch a break? Like, can we catch a break?
Like, seriously.
But yeah, I know that you guys are anxious, waiting, praying, fasting. Like he was saying, like it's a testimony on his end. Like he was single, he was getting the same thing. Like when are you gonna get married? And here he is now because he wasn't focused on. He was focused on becoming.
Exactly.
He was focused on worshiping the assignment. He plays instrument for the Lord. At church, just do what you can and with what God has given you. Like what's in your hands? Like what has God put in your hands?
What's your talent?
Yeah. What's your talent? What's your gifting? Use that to serve the Lord and glorify God. And God will honor you. Put first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. Okay, because the Bible knows. The Bible says like 2 is better than 1. Like God knows we need a wife, a husband, because he created that desire in us. So in the right timing, it will happen. You don't want to end up with Jezebel.
Yeah. Oh.
You don't end up with the wrong guy. Just pray and just get closer to God and pray for your spouse. Don't stop saying, God, bring me a man, bring me a man. Ask God to heal your man, wherever he may be. Pray for him. Pray that God will bless the work of his hand. And as God is doing a work in you, that God will do exactly that. Yeah.
We were just still hanging out, being friendly, and she prayed for a man, for her future husband. She prayed on my behalf, not knowing that it was going to be me. So pray that God break every generational curses, every soul tie in his life or her life.
Pray that God, remove every spiritual spouse. Like,
Yes.
pray for generational curses to be broken. Pray, because that's going to be your family, right? Pray for every curse in the
For
bloodline
strong
to be removed,
foundation,
right?
yeah.
Focus on those things. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm out here single now, and I'm happy where God has placed me. And I know in the right time, the man will come.
Yeah.
If he's not already here.
Hey. I mean, she made a move.
We walk by faith and not by sight. Okay, just keep focusing on God. And right now, what I'm doing is I'm working, and I'm doing YouTube, and I'm serving at my church now. So I'm focusing on what God has called me to do in this time.
Exactly.
And in the time where He does walk into my life, He's gonna add value to me. I'm gonna add value to Him, and
all these things will be added onto you. It's not you don't have to seek them.
Exactly.
You seek God, and all the rest is going to be added onto you.
Exactly.
So everything that I didn't know I needed, God put it in a package, wrap it up, and then I grabbed with two hands, and I was able to actually get that ring on my finger.
Hey, show them the ring. Hey. But yeah, guys, this is the video for today. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
I'm trying to get your brother to come on here with me.
I know. He's the one. He's the one.
He's the whole pastor. Like, I want to talk about like how to cash in your favor. Because we're talking about cashing in favor. Like, guys, I need you guys to hear him talk about how to access favor from God. Like, it will change and transform your perspective.
When he mentioned that the other day at the family meeting, I was like,
yeah, he was singing bars, but I'm trying to get him on here as soon as possible, ASAP. But thank you.
For sure.
Honestly, guys, I thought about this video today. In a split second, it came to me, and I called him right away. I'm like, can we make a YouTube video? And this guy is just amazing. He's like, yeah, for sure. Even though, like, he's like, I've never done this before. Yeah. But you look like a natural. First time, you know? But anyways, thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
Guys, this is the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there's anything else you guys want me to talk about, drop it down in the comment section. Guys, thank you for 22,000K subscribers. Like, oh my gosh. I remember I was at 49.
Yeah.
And in less than a few weeks, look at God.
When you dedicate and focus on one thing to move forward for God,
God will do the rest.
There you go.
Sometimes God is waiting for you to meet you where you're at, or to meet Him.
Don't be letting know what my brother's going to be saying.
Oh, shoot. Never mind.
Next time.
So thank you guys for 22,000 subscribers. I love you guys. Honestly, I apologize for everyone that's messaged me on Instagram. It's a lot of messages, so I'm trying to get to it. So it's just me. I apologize eventually, But yeah, like this video, give it a thumbs up. Oh, guys, turn on your notification bell so you're notified when I post a video. Subscribe, share the video. But yeah, I love you guys, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye.
I thank God for the best up.